Welcome everybody, my name is Michael and today we are discussing about Alexei Pertsev, a 29-year-old developer who's been arrested in Amsterdam for allegedly being the developer behind Tornado Cash, a Ethereum-based blockchain mixing protocol. So it works very simple. You tumble your coins, just like normal money laundering techniques, except through the cryptoverse. Yes, and there's been so many tumblers before this one. Tornado Cash has just been in the news recently because it's been sanctioned by the US, which makes it a crime to use Tornado Cash inside of the US. And there was news last week of how some users, jokesters, were sending cash through Tornado Cash to famous celebrities, even the ex-president Donald Trump. I mean, there was tons of people who had millions of dollars who received some Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever was sent to these addresses, and it was dirty money. Well, there's plenty of services that Coinbase and the top exchanges use that trace where all your Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are coming from. And if they detect that anything came from the dark markets or from any nefarious uses, they might just ban your account. Now, how accurate is this sometimes? And should you get punished if 100 transactions ago? I don't think so. I think this is an abuse of power. Fiscal Information and Investigation Services, FIOD, I'm guessing it's because it was translated from the Dutch police. This is something that is dear to my heart. I think, not tumbling money, but the fact that this is not an easily provable crime, especially if you're a developer of a platform that just has money go through it. You can take this same argument and say, well, why not arrest those running crypto ATMs? I'm sure they're laundering money too. Hey, let's go after the banksters. They're probably laundering money. And secret, they are laundering money just as easily. Why use Tornado Cash when you can go to HSBC? And you're going to get a fantastic 3% maybe charge to launder hundreds of millions of dollars. Woohoo! Because they've done that for cartels and other, bad guys and criminals. While this is just a hunch, oh yes, let's take down this guy. He's the easy fish. While the whales out there, outside of crypto, they don't care. Oh, remember when Wells Fargo was scamming, hundreds of millions of dollars from clients and making fake bank accounts and registering them in towns that had like 2,000 population, but they had like 50,000 new accounts registered locally? Well, they were just using deceased people's information to start up new accounts. But no. The banks are not the bad guys. You know who is? It's this random developer in Europe who... This is, again, there's hundreds of tumbling programs that have existed for many years. This was just a scapegoat. This was just in the limelight that, hey, it's sanctioned. Anybody who uses this will get arrested in America. You're a criminal. And outside of America, let's try and find whoever is causing so much destruction. Except he's not, because he just developed an application which I'm sure took a couple hours, and that's that. And maybe he was making a little bit of money off of it. Who cares? But this obviously goes a little bit further into the underworld because, well, without KYC and AML, like crypto and many crypto ATMs, it's a little bit harder to prove. But again, we don't know exactly where this money was coming from and what it was being used for and whether it was being used illegally. So we can only assume that maybe a part of it was indeed laundered. But just as easily, you can go to the bank, you can use PayPal, you can use online payment processors, and you don't even have to go to crypto to be able to launder your money. And many of these criminals now are stepping away because they understand that Bitcoin is easily traceable. Maybe 5-7 years ago, it was a different story, but now the FBI is on top of this, and all the 3-letter agencies of the world, they know exactly what to look out for. So it just doesn't make sense to me. This guy's being held in jail for the next 14 days, and then there's going to be a hearing, and there's a whole investigation. And again, maybe he's going to get charged with something. The good thing is he was arrested in Amsterdam, where, as we know, if you remember Avi, if you remember Hansa, this was a marketplace where I think there was 2 people who were arrested in the Netherlands, and they did some completely different things. They were definitely guilty of running something that in America you would have gotten, like Mr. DPR, Ross Ulbricht, 2 life sentences for. Over there, you're going to get, some couple years here and there, and eventually you're going to come out reformed and whatnot. Over here, that's it. You are done. Lock away the key, throw away your life, and that's that. So it's just terrifying that we live in a world where we keep giving up much more of our privacy, and data is so easily attainable. And I had someone recently at our dealership where we always ask for Google reviews. Someone said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can't give a Google review." And I said, "Is it because of privacy concerns?" And they responded, "Of course it is. They don't have a Google account." And I said, "I understand. I understand they didn't have social media." And this is becoming slightly more common now because people mistrust social media platforms and these giant companies because some of them obviously sell the data. And then we have other stuff like this where, are you really free in a free country if you can't really do whatever you want with your money? Now, again, some of this is to stop crime, and yes, there will always be crime, and criminals will always be 1,000 steps ahead, apart from the silly ones who will get arrested, and those are going to be the scapegoats. But in this case, I don't think that this guy was justly arrested. I'm sure there's going to be some charges thrown at him, and maybe he gets a good lawyer and whatnot, but I'm sure there's plenty in the crypto community who will come to his defense and maybe donate some crypto to his defense team, and he'll be all right. But again, it's just weird how so much more restrictive has crypto gotten since it became mainstream. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think he deserved it, the creator? He was confirmed supposedly to be the creator by his wife, but it's just cash. It's not like he was running a criminal mastermind empire. He was just taking one form of cash, turning it into another. That's it. And some people might say that's money laundering, but money laundering is specifically going into the fact that is a crime where you take money and you want to clean it. And yes, Tornado Cash technically did do this to an extent, but that wasn't the whole premise of it. So people will argue, but that's that. I remember a couple years ago there being so many tumblers and mixers, and again, I'm just so surprised that this hasn't happened earlier for stuff that was much more connected with the marketplaces, that there were massive arrests for and massive honeypot operations for, remember, Hansa and Alphabet and all this stuff from many years ago, Silk Road 1, 2, 3, whatever, and for some reason, it's like, wow, this suddenly happens, and again, it's just in Polish, we would say, sprawa się nagłośniła. It's because the media is talking about it. It's because the government put sanctions. It's because everybody's suddenly talking about it. They want to catch Tornado Cash. But they singled this one tumbler out of many, and it just doesn't make sense to me. Yes, maybe some crimes were committed through the actual platform, the protocol, but again, you go into any ATM, you look in your wallet, I'm sure you have dollar bills that at one point or another were used for criminal enterprises or whatnot. It's just the world we live in. Most money is dirty at one point or another. And what do you do with it? Well, one way is you regulate everything and you restrict what you can, and we're going into a different world, a brave new world, I guess you could say, where everything is going into the government's hands. And this is exactly what we were fighting against. Not to say that I'm not a proponent of some, order, because otherwise it's a world of chaos, but when it comes to my money, I want to have full control of my money. I hope you understand. So, thanks for watching. Bye.